Good evening, it's Kuro. Got another ranked game in my Shimakaze, going over the matchmaking. Looking at Battleship Central here. 4 battleships and 3 DDs. Got a Gearing, Shima, and a Yu Yang. So most likely they're going to have radar advantage over us with the Yu Yang radar. Um, what I'm going to do this game is because we're short radar, I want to try to play mid, try to get some spotting here. Um, kind of expect my team to stick together and just kind of push B and C. But this game's eventually going to morph into basically a lesson on how to YOLO torp people. Um, so if you like YOLO torping, you're gonna love this game. So coming up here, just using RPF, getting an idea, you know, kind of where people are pointed. Um, this Shima's pushing up here too. Eh, it's all right, honestly. I prefer doing something like this alone. Um, and the reason being, I've got a pretty good idea of where I can push the limits and when to start playing safe. And you look, I'm just gonna pause it. You look on the mini map. I'm already turning in uh, or turning back to start getting a safer angle to kite away. He's still going almost full speed, straight at the enemy. And one of the key indicators where you know it's a good idea to start turning, start getting a better angle to kite away quickly, is when your detection circle reaches the halfway point of the map. And really what I'm looking to do here is I'm looking basically to pinch out this A gap. So anything trying to get into A, I will detect. And that's that's my indicators right here when I'm playing mid on this map for, you know, how far do I want to push up? How far do how much do I want to risk? And I mean, you look at the difference. This Shima is he's going bananas. And this Gearing, he's going for it. This is a bad play on the Gearing's behalf. He needs to go full speed ahead. So he's not going to use that smoke, you know. And there is a Yu Yang behind him, so it is negated somewhat by that. Um, but that's one of those things. It's a dangerous call because if he dies, as soon as this Yu Yang's radar goes down, his entire team's blinded. And I mean, they're already blinded. Actually, I think this Shima can be seen. Oh no, that's blind fire. So yeah, I mean, as soon as that radar was down, their team's blinded, and you have this big, 2 minute long gearing smoke that it's just gonna cut off any sort of view here, and I'm already working around it, getting back in here where I can spot these battleships for my team. I know there's a Yu Yang sniffing around out here. Um, I've already done pretty good chunk to that gearing with I mean AP. That last volley was really nasty. Um, don't torp like this, guys. That's you know I understand that when he torped that I was going backwards, but DDs, especially Shimakaze on speed boost, can accelerate forward really quickly. So, you know, it's not really worth it. Um, these torps are kind of a misplay. It's a curve first. Um, him making this push, he should have hydro up. So, he's just gonna negate all of these torpedoes, basically turning in behind this island cove here. And he's gonna be torpedo safe. So I should have just held on to those torpedoes and, you know, waited for him to actually clear that island. They got a plane up in the air, so I'm just looking to skirt right outside the plane. Got another 50 seconds for the torpedo reload. And again, I'm just looking to my team's, you know, I'm the only thing really able to look into this area of the map. So I do want to kind of hold this position where I can spot stuff back in here. My Montana can spot stuff shooting back in here, and that gives us a lot of vision over the map. Yu Yang pops up. I know he's got radar, so I was kind of expecting to get radared, but it must be down. So I'm just going to slam on the brakes. I know this curve first is going to try to YOLO into my Montana, and I am just looking to get inside torpedo range, and I know my Montana is reversing. I've been watching him on the mini map, and I dropped 2 sets of torps. I won't drop the third because my indicator is getting up there far enough that if my Montana decides to start going forward, it'd be relatively easy to hit him. Uh, Everything else was launched right into the island, um, back in here, and with the Montana backing up, he's going to have a really hard time accelerating forward to hit those torps. Going ahead, get 4 torp hits on the curve first, and that basically turns him into a pretty easy kill for my team. Now my team's got plenty of ships back over here, um, and I've got 2 battleships that aren't really being supported by a DD out here, so I want to try to push the middle again and see what I can do to help my battleships. A blind man could have seen this coming with the gearing in A. He's left A cap. He's up in the north. He just drove right up and torped my Montana, and you know that kind of sucks. But that you can only have so much map presence. Um, I mean, really, I don't think that this guy should have been back down in here. He should have probably been up in here with his bow turned out, ready to kite away. Ideally, kiting this direction, which would be away from where any enemy DDs are. Now I'm watching the Yu Yang. I know he's going to try to make this move up the channel. And this was the guy I was looking for. This Montana basically has made this huge sweeping journey all the way in the south, not doing anything for his team. I know he's going to take this shortcut through ACAP, so I'm looking to see if I can nail this guy. But if you look, I'm pinched. I've got that Yu Yang that's at this point he's just getting tore up by my team. But I just want to smoke because I don't want to appear on the mini map. I'd rather it just be a blank puff of smoke right in front of the cap rather than a DD spotted right in front of this guy. So this Montana shoots, that tells me I can go back into the cap. And at this stage of the game, this guy does not have a lot of places to go. So I'm just going to start putting some shots in on him. I switch to AP, see if I can get some better damage, and actually get some damage with that shot. Now, YOLOing a battleship. I'm going to pause it. If you notice, I had basically reversed it into the edge of my smoke. I pop my speed boost, and I'm accelerating forward. And the Montana shoots this. I know this means that he's done. He can't even really get any sort of shot on me because his guns are unloaded. Don't waste your time torping this angle. You're only going to hit a couple torps. Not worth your time. I turn in, I get his broadside, and you make sure that you get him. I mean, I think out of 15 torpedoes, only one missed. I mean, that's how you want to do it. No amount of overkill is too much, because if that guy makes a move, he misses a torpedo, something like that. Now all of a sudden you're in close proximity. His back guns can shave off half my HP just like that if he gets good RNG and I get bad. Especially with the bullshit double dipping bug for the AP pins that are still in the game. So I know this gearing's up in the north, and I'm using RPF, kind of watching where this guy's going. I'm switching to AP, originally thinking that I might be getting a broadside crack at this guy. But I got a new game plan that I'm just going to, poke out and torp this guy. So I'm going to switch back to HE. I believe I do. I'm sitting here looking, just watching, waiting for my torps. Oh, yeah, there it goes. I switched back to HE. And I had a pretty good idea this guy was going to be in my face. So I go on ahead and I take this shot. Now, the reason why I took that shot, if you noticed, I broke his engine. His engine's broken right here. That reduces his speed, that reduces his ability to, turn out as fast as he normally could. I see a lot of guys just go right for, the torps. You got your guns on target, take that shot. If you get his rudder or his engine, you've pretty much sealed the deal on him. And this is something that I don't see a lot of people do when they're YOLO torping another destroyer. I've seen some absolutely amazing torpedo beats in these sorts of situations. So, take that shot. Increase your odds that this guy's not going to be able to avoid the torps. And again, I'm using a lot of torps. We're under, well under 3 kilometers when I started launching them, and I'm flooding the area with torps. I mean, these were launched back in here. I've got this next set of torpedoes right in here. It's like almost 2 ship lengths that I'm covering with torps. Now, also note the way that I'm moving. I've still got my speed boost active, which that helps in this case. But this gearing's torpedo angles are like this. For him to torp me, he's got to turn this direction, or if he was a smarter move, in my opinion, would be this is a losing proposition. When you came out, if you noticed, I had his bow. His bow was pointed at me to my broadside. He can't make this turn. This is a death trap. This just opens him up for the torpedoes. He's never going to be able to torp me because he basically has to try to torp out here to try to launch torps at me. He's never going to make it. And at the same time, I'm going to be able to turn ahead of him. Now, if you're in this position where, oh shit, you come around the corner and this enemy DD's got your bow, turn to astern. By turning to astern, his torpedo arc here is much easier to hit. Plus my torpedoes are coming from this direction. You're already turning into the torpedoes, reducing the likelihood that you're going to take multiple torpedoes. So just be aware of, you know, the ins and outs of where you have positions of advantage and disadvantages. I've, successfully torped destroyers, you know, that I've caught their bow this way and basically baited them into, this turn. Now, what I would do if this guy turned in, I would launch one set of torps to lock him into position. The next set of torps would be the killing blow right into his broadside. But I would have to be relatively quick about it because I am going to get torped from this other side. In this case, this guy has no shot at me at all. This is just, don't even bother looking at the explosion kind of cool guy thing because he's already dead. So again, just wanted to take a second and explain some of the finer points of close quarters torping other destroyers. Since I'm doing it in the game, hope you guys don't mind me stalling the game out this much. But there he goes, and 10 torpedoes. I think I missed one. And that pretty much seals the deal on this game. 12 torpedo hits, 155,000 damage. Obviously it's a really solid game. Points are ticking down. We've got all 3 caps. So I hope this game had some information that you guys could use. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. And I hope you guys have a good night.